Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Marta, I come from Norway and I love makeup, and today I'm really excited to share with you the Nebula palette from Micka Beauty Shop. And this is the first palette that this brand has launched, and the brand owner is actually Michaela. She's from France and she's the sweetest girl, and she created this beautiful palette as her first palette release. And it's so pretty. I've already tried a bunch of pigments because she has so many beautiful pigments on her website, which I will leave a link to down below, of course. So I've tried a lot of their pigments from before and I really do like them. I've ordered several times and she has sent me a bunch of PR, and I have done a few looks for Instagram, but I have not made a YouTube video on this brand yet, so I'm really excited to be doing this video on this beautiful palette. It does retail for 35 euros and I do have a code, which I will of course leave right here, and then I will also leave it down in my description box. But for this video I'm going to do some swatches and of course do this look that I have right here. Unfortunately my microphone was not working when I filmed it. I just realized right now. That's why I'm also filming this intro for the second time. So I will just try to work around it and do like kind of a voiceover thing. But yeah, let's just get started and I will show you the swatches and then how I did this look. So here's the whole color story swatched out. It's just a mix of really like bright colors, but also kind of muted. So I just think it's a really interesting color story and you can do a lot of things with this. But let me zoom you in and show you with some flashlight straight onto the swatches. So here you can see the shades with light directly on them like this. So the first one was a little bit more orangey based than I thought it would be, and I actually like that so much more because you can definitely like see that orange shift here, but it has that fuchsia shine that is like the main color of the shadow, I feel like. And then there is a regular matte yellow, which is pretty, but like my favorite shade of the whole palette is actually this one. It reminds me so much of one of Tammy Tanuka's shades that I love so much, which is called something like Fiery Pod Fox or something. And it has like a green to blue to purple shift, and it's just so amazing. And it has that peachy kind of bright base, which is just so beautiful. And then we have 2 green mattes, which are perfect because they go so well together. You have one deeper, and then you have one that's more like a lime green. And then this one is a beautiful duochrome purple, and it has kind of like a blue to purple shift, I would say. And then we have the first of the like deeper cool toned mattes, so that is a purple deep matte, and I really like that color. Then next up here we have this kind of like classic blue to purple duochrome. This one was a lot more drier than the other shades in the palette, so I feel like this and this, they are a different kind of formula than the other duochromes. Because you can see that this red one, which is also maybe one of my favorites in this palette, is way more like smooth, but it's really foiled. Like I could see on my finger after having swatched it, it was so foiled and like glowing. So we will see if I will use that for my look or not. I mean, you've already seen my look, so you would know that. And then we have the 3 last mattes right here. So it's a deep blue, which I'm gonna be honest, it smells almost like chlorine or something. So I'm not really sure if I want to use that one, but it is a really beautiful shade, and I'm sure it's nothing like wrong with it. It's just the smell that is a little bit off-putting to me. Then there's a little bit of a deeper red. I wish it was maybe even deeper because it's like just kind of more muted red. And then this is a super bright red, but I think it would have been so amazing with like a super dark red for this. But all in all, I think that these shades are really beautiful. I'm so excited to do a look, and I need to decide what to use out of these because they're so beautiful. So that was the swatches, and let's just get on to the tutorial. So for this look, I decided to start with a deeper red shade because I want to use the red shimmery shade and the shade called Astral because they're just so beautiful, and they're definitely my favorites in this palette. And as you can see right here, it applies really beautifully. It is pigmented and it blends out really nicely, but it blends out almost into a berry shade. I kind of love it. It's really beautiful. So for the inner parts of the lid, I am going to use this yellow shade called Lucent, just because I want a lighter inner eye, and I'm going to use the shade Astral for the inner parts and the other deeper red for the outer parts. So I just wanted a lighter matte. And as you can see, this one has a few shimmer particles in it, but it's nothing that actually stays on the eye. It's just a few like glittery, shimmery particles in there. And the yellow itself is quite pigmented, I would say. I'm also just taking whatever is left on the brush after applying the yellow and just brushing it over and blending out that more red shade. And for the shimmers, I ended up using, of course, my Glam glue, which I always use when I use shimmers. And I just placed it all over the lid, and here I am going into to the sun, and I'm placing it on the outer half of the lid, and I am creating kind of like a diagonal line because I feel like that makes my eyes look a little bit more kind of like snatched and yeah, it just gives me the shape that I want. And then I'm applying Astral with a kind of bigger, fluffier flat brush, and I'm just applying that to the inner parts, and then I'm blending the 2 shimmers together. So I'm also using my fingers just to kind of push them down and make them extra pigmented, opaque, sparkly and foiled. I do really like how this looks, and I am just going to be doing the lower lash line off camera because I didn't film it, but I did end up using the lime green and the same red shade that I used for the outer corner. And I did use a little bit of Astral for the inner parts of the lower lash line. But now I'm going to show you the close-up of this finished eyeshadow look. And that was the close-up, and I really like this look. I feel like the shimmers are just like so beautiful and sparkly. They're all duochromes, which I absolutely love. The mattes are pigmented but not overly pigmented, so they do blend out really nicely. And I do really love the kind of color that this kind of more deeper red turned out to. Like, it turned out to be more berry, and I like it. And I do think it would turn out a little bit less berry if I only had used like this to the sunshade, because that is more so orangey instead of pinky, which you have in this shimmer here. But all in all, I will say I'm really impressed with this palette. I feel like it's such a nice palette with a really special color story, because I kind of get fall vibes from the look that I created here, just because it reminds me a little bit of the looks that I created using my custom palettes that I made during fall. But at the same time, I get kind of spring vibes with the lime that you have here. It's like super bright, and the yellow is very springy. And I just feel like this is a really good year-round palette, because it kind of fits for everything, because these blues and purples are beautiful for winter. And yeah, at least I do my makeup a little bit inspired by the time of the year that we're in, and I feel like this one is something I could whip out any time of the year. Please leave me a comment down below what you thought of the palette and the look. I would love to hear your thoughts, but I think that's the end of this video. I will, of course, as usual, leave all of the products that I used for this look down below in my description box, together with a link for Micka Beauty Shop's website and her Instagram. So please do check that out. But thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye!